Coming up on this Thursday edition of Daybreak, South Korea and the US will launch a working group to look into delaying Washington's transfer of wartime operational control to Seoul by 2015. The two allies endorse a deterrence strategy against North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. Prosecutors conclude the former Roh Moo-hyun administration failed to hand over the controversial 2007 Interkorean summit transcripts to presidential archives at the end of Roh's term. There's evidence parts of the transcript were deleted. Plus, Italian Prime Minister Enrico Letta wins the Senate's confidence vote after former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi backs out of attempting to bring down the coalition government. Daybreak begins now.
You're watching Daybreak on Thursday, October 3rd, and I'm Choi Yu-sun in Seoul. In response to mounting nuclear and missile threats from North Korea, South Korea and the United States signed a deterrence strategy on Wednesday. But the two sides' defense chiefs came short of deciding whether to delay Washington's transfer of wartime operational control to Seoul by 2015. Our Defense Ministry correspondent Han Da-eun starts us off.
South Korean Defense Minister Kim Kwan-jin and U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel sat down for the 45th Security Consultative Meeting in Seoul on Wednesday, after which they adopted a joint declaration that contains 13 military agreements. Among them is the endorsement of a tailored deterrent strategy against North Korean nuclear and missile threats.
South Korea and the U.S. have completed a tailored deterrence strategy optimized to effectively address rising North Korean nuclear threats after its third nuclear test.
Under the strategy, the integration of the Korea-U.S. alliance will be strengthened to maximize the deterrent effect against North Korean nuclear threats sorted by scenario. And when signs of North Korean nuclear activity are detected, the combined forces will use all possible military capabilities available from the ground, sea, and air to launch countermeasures. The two defense chiefs also reaffirmed the need to work together for a comprehensive, interoperable missile defense system, which includes the kill chain and Korea air and missile defense system currently being developed by the Korean military. But there was no conclusion on the matter of the transfer of the wartime operational control from the U.S. to Korea set for 2015. Secretary Hagel said he takes the OPCON issues raised by the Korean military seriously, but added the U.S. will not make any decisions now.
We've had good discussions regarding the timing of OPCON transfer, and I look forward to continuing consultations on this issue in the weeks and the months ahead.
Minister Kim had asked Washington in May to delay the OPCON transfer in light of North Korea's nuclear threats. The two countries have agreed to immediately form a working group that'll regularly discuss and assess combat readiness of South Korea, which is the prime condition of the transition. Han Da-eun, Arirang News.
North Korea has slammed a massive military parade staged by South Korea earlier this week, marking the 65th Armed Forces Day. The ceremony was the largest display South Korea had staged in 10 years, complete with 11,000 soldiers, almost 200 pieces of military equipment, and scores of aircraft. In an article published in the state-run daily Nodong Shinmun, Pyongyang said the event was a confrontational act that could trigger a war. In a separate publication, the North's Committee overseeing inter-Korean relations called President Park Geun-hye's Armed Forces Day speech a serious provocation that defies efforts for dialogue and peace on the Korean peninsula. President Park had vowed to build a strong deterrence against Pyongyang's nuclear ambitions. And back here in Seoul, prosecutors say the 2007 Inter-Korean Summit transcript at the center of controversy over former President Roh Moo-hyun's remarks about the Western Maritime border is not at the National Archives. They add that there's evidence parts of the transcript were even erased from the archives system. Our political correspondent Kim Hyun-ji has more.
The Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office announced Wednesday that the 2007 Inter-Korean Summit transcript and tape recordings are not at the National Archives, saying that they were never transferred or stored there. Prosecutors said the conclusion was reached after going through all records, more than 7.5 million of them, that had been transferred from the Roh Moo-hyun government to the state archives. Prosecutors said the original transcript had been uploaded in an electronic archive system at the presidential office called EG1 soon after the 2007 Inter-Korean Summit, but it was subsequently erased from the system. Prosecutors say they found traces of the erasure from a duplicate of the EG1 that President Roh took with him to Ponga village after his term ended. Prosecutors added that the summit minutes had not been tagged for transfer to the state archives and that the original transcript was deleted. But prosecutors say they have successfully recovered the deleted file. Prosecutors also found an edited version of the transcript saved in the duplicate of the EG1, which they say is virtually identical to the copy the National Intelligence Service has. Starting next week, prosecutors plan to summon President Roh's staff who stored and transferred the presidential records to the National Archives. An official at the presidential office said Wednesday that the missing presidential record is a grave event that should have never taken place. The ruling Saenuri Party demanded former presidential office staff for President Roh and the main opposition Democratic Party apologize for quote-unquote destroying the summit transcript and take responsibility. Saying that it will keep an eye on how the probe unfolds, the Democratic Party stressed that the prosecution should also reveal how the ruling party got its hands on the transcript and used it before the December presidential election. Kim Hyun-ji, Arirang News.
President Park Geun-hye has stressed the need to create what she calls a new economic ecosystem that boosts the competitiveness of small and medium-sized firms. At a luncheon with leaders of small and mid-sized companies on Wednesday, she said that promoting the growth of SMEs is important for boosting Korea's prosperity and realizing her administration's goal of a 70% employment rate. The president called on these companies to actively develop new technologies and ideas as creativity and innovation have become key factors in securing an upper hand in the current economic environment.
If you want the latest news from Korea and around the world.
Return to the negotiations.
President Park Geun-hye, given the current circumstances.
On your way to work or at home.
The legislature will convene a...
Tune into Daybreak on Arirang TV.
Prime Minister said Tuesday. Italian Prime Minister Enrico Letta has won a crucial vote of confidence for his coalition government after former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi suddenly stopped his campaign to dismantle the current leadership. Letta, who took office 5 months ago, won the Senate vote by a large margin and is also expected to win comfortably in the lower house vote. Berlusconi's attempts to withdraw from the coalition led to splintering within his own party, and some pundits believe this may be the end of the scandal-ridden billionaire's political career. With the U.S. government shutdown stretching into a second day and with no end in sight yet, President Barack Obama has canceled a scheduled trip to Asia. Obama was set to visit 4 Asian countries, including the Philippines and Malaysia, to reinforce Washington's commitment to the region. This is the first international consequence of the shutdown that took effect at midnight on Monday. In the meantime, an intelligence official said on Wednesday that the shutdown is threatening intelligence operations that protect the security of the U.S. Around 800,000 federal employees are currently out of work, and hundreds of landmarks and national parks have been closed. The Tokyo National Museum has on display a helmet and armor that were almost certainly used by Korea's Emperor Gojong during the Joseon dynasty. Korean historians believe they're all stolen items, but Japan claims it got them through a legal procedure. Our Son Jang-in has this story.
The Asian Gallery at Tokyo National Museum is currently holding a special exhibition titled Art of the Joseon Dynasty. The gallery, which displays historical works and relics from all across Asia, is featuring costumes, furnishings, and accessories from Korea's Joseon Dynasty, which ran from 1392 to 1910. In particular, you can spot a helmet and armor adorned with a dragon phoenix pattern. The helmet with a wide jade ornament on top represents the symbol of the highest ranking, while the armor with the embroidery of a five-clawed dragon and wings on each shoulder unmistakably proves it belonged to a king. Korean experts say it must have belonged to Emperor Gojong, who ruled Korea between 1863 and 1907. The Japanese museum, however, does not state that the artifacts are royal family remains. It only mentions that the items were donated in the 19th century by the Okura family. Takenosuke Okura, a Japanese businessman, is known to have collected more than 1,000 artifacts during the Japanese colonial era. His son later donated the collection to the Tokyo National Museum in 1982. Korea is demanding Japan return the artifacts, claiming Okura illegally took the cultural assets out of the country. According to international regulations, stolen or illegally purchased relics cannot be donated to museums. Experts say Japan should return the artifacts to their rightful home if it cannot prove their legitimacy. Son Jang-in, Arirang News.
Unless you're a member of the armed forces, you probably don't get many chances to ride on a military helicopter or a tank. But you can try out these experiences and more at a military fair hosted by the Defense Ministry that will run through the end of this week. Kim Hyun-bin reports.
One day after the nation held its largest Armed Forces Day celebration in 10 years, the Ministry of National Defense opened the 11th Ground Forces Festival in Kaesong City on Wednesday. From attack helicopters to heavy artillery, there's much to see. But unlike other exhibitions or events, visitors have full access to the vehicles. Special military performances and maneuvers are scheduled throughout the day, where they reenact rescue missions, with heavy artillery being fired and stunts being executed. There are also opportunities to hop on a helicopter for an airborne tour, or hitch a ride in a tank.
This is my first time on a military helicopter. It was fun and it wasn't scary as I thought. I hope I can have this opportunity again.
The 11th Ground Forces Festival is the largest annual Army event that's open to the public, where visitors can get up close and personal with Korea's military might.
One of the most popular sections is a shooting range, where people got to fire off blank rounds.
It was fun to actually fire a gun that active soldiers use.
If you want to get your hands a little dirtier, you can test your might at the boot camp section by climbing an artificial rock wall or jumping out of mock towers, which are used for parachute training. The festival runs through the Sunday, October 13th. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News, Kaesong.
Get ready for Asia's largest film celebration. The Busan International Film Festival kicks off its 10-day run on this Thursday. Our cultural correspondent Park Ji-won reports on the movie buzz in the southern port city.
Preparations for the 18th Busan International Film Festival, or BIF, are nearly complete. At the Busan Cinema Center, one of the festival's main venues, staff members are busy rehearsing for Thursday evening's opening ceremony. And in the central Busan district of Nampo, ardent movie fans have gathered at the BIF Square. As the first official event of the 10-day film festival, the film organizing committee unveiled the handprints of film stars and directors that visited the film festival last year. Visitors and Busan citizens alike are excited for the festival to start.
I think the festival is so nice, as it offers diverse movies, especially many independent films by emerging directors. As a Busan citizen, I also feel very proud.
I like to see some of the movies, especially the Asian movies, because they are not so much screened in my country, but also worldwide movies, and maybe see some directors and some movie stars.
During the 10-day event, over 300 films from 70 different countries will be shown, and 94 of them will be seen by audiences for the first time as world premieres. The Bhutanese film Vara, A Blessing, a dance drama about love and self-sacrifice, will open the 18th Busan International Film Festival on Thursday evening. And a total of 12 films by up-and-coming Asian directors from 9 countries will compete in the New Currents category. Arirang TV is also presenting an hour-long documentary called Splendid But Sad Days in the festival's wide-angle section. The festival will continue until next Saturday at various venues in the city. Park Ji-won, Arirang News, Busan.
And a good Thursday morning to you all as we kick things off with some Wednesday night's KBO action. And let's just say that it was one action-packed night as the SK Wyverns shut out the Kia Tigers 9-0. And the Nexon Heroes holding on to beat the NC Dinos in a close one, 2-1. So with that said, let's take a look at the other two games that took place, starting off with the Samsung Lions taking on the Lotte Giants. Now a scoreless game until the 4th inning of the game when Chung Young-sik hits a sac fly to right. In comes Choi Young-woo to score, but an error by Son Na-sup scores Choi Tae-in from second. And the Samsung Lions take a 2-0 lead. 5th inning of the game, here is Park Sung-min, an RBI single to left, and it's now 3-0 Samsung. 6th inning, Chung Young-sik at bat once again, and he drills a double to deep left field. This makes it 4-0 Samsung Lions. But in the bottom of the inning, here is Son Na-sup at bat, and he's going to send this one to deep left field. There it goes. Gone, a 2-run shot, and the deficit is cut 4-2. Samsung cruising throughout this game, take a 9-2 lead going into the 9th inning. Oh Seung-hwan on the mound gives up a single to Lee Seung-hwa to start things off. Next batter, here is Shin Bong-ki, strikes out swinging. Next up, here is In Jong-hyuk here, and he's going to strike out swinging as well. 2 outs. Next batter, here's Son Na-sup, and what do you know? He strikes out swinging as well. Ball game over as the Samsung Lions clinch the pennant for the 3rd straight year. And next up, the LG Twins taking on the lowly Hanwha Eagles. 1st inning, here's Chung Sung-hoon with an RBI double to deep right center field, gives the LG Twins the early 1-0 lead. 2nd inning, here's Kim Kyung-eun sends this one to deep right field. A sac fly ties the ball game here before Chang Eun-ho with an RBI double to right center gives the Hanwha Eagles the 2-1 lead. But at the bottom of the inning, Yoon Yo-sub with an RBI single here brings home Chung Hee-yoon, and we have a tie ball game. Next play, Park Yong-taek at bat, a 2-run single here gives the LG Twins the lead once again before Lee Byung-gyu caps the 5-run 2nd inning with a 2-run double down the left field line, and it's now 6-2 LG Twins. 3rd inning of the game, it's rally time as Kim Tae-gyun drills this one to deep left field, and there it goes, back. Gone, a 3-run shot, and the score is now 6-5 LG Twins. Next play, here's Chung Young-suk here, an RBI double down left field line, and we have a tie ball game. But we're not done yet. Here's Chang Eun-ho, this time an infield single to 3rd base that scores another as the Hanwha Eagles now take the lead 7-6. But hold up, bottom of the inning, here's Oh Ji-hwan, a 2-run single to right field, and LG takes the lead back 8-7. Just an insane game all around, but in the 5th inning, Kim Kyung-eun with the clutch 2-run double gives the Hanwha Eagles the lead once again. And after 31 hits in the entire game, the Hanwha Eagles upset the LG Twins 11-8, your final score. And now moving on to the majors, Choo Shin-soo and the Cincinnati Reds facing off against the Pittsburgh Pirates in a one-game elimination round. Saw Choo Shin-soo hit his first postseason home run, but the Reds were eliminated after losing 6-2 on Tuesday. Now, playing in front of a packed PNC Park, the Cincinnati Reds just couldn't get a hold of Francisco Liriano, who threw 7 brilliant innings. Now, meanwhile, in the 8th inning, Choo Shin-soo drills a solo shot as he finished off the game going 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. And now shifting gears to the AFC Champions League second leg matchup between FC Seoul and Astagal FC. After taking the first leg 2-0 at home, the Korean side draws 2-2 at away, giving them the 4-2 aggregate win over the Iranian side. Now, FC Seoul advances to their first AFC Champions League finals as they're set to face off against Gangzhou Evergrande of the Chinese Super League. All right, so with that said, finishing things off with some good news for all you Seongnam football fans. Despite all signs pointing to Seongnam Ira Cheonma being sold to Ansan City, looks like the fans stopped that from happening as the team is set to stay in Seongnam. At a press conference on Wednesday, the mayor of Seongnam, Lee Jae-myung, announced that the city will take over the team and that the team will not leave the city. Seongnam Ira Cheonma, despite its recent downfall, has been one of the most successful teams in the K-League Classic as they hope to bounce back next season under their new ownership. And with all that said, that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Lee Ji-hyun with your latest weather forecast. Well, wasn't the sun so bright yesterday? I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was dazzled by the sun, especially when you were driving. You just couldn't open your eyes. Well, today is National Foundation Day here in Korea, which is a public holiday. Now, if you plan to be outdoor, make sure to have your sunglasses ready because we are expecting even brighter day all day long. And temperatures plummeted to low teens overnight, so we're waking up to a sunny but very chilly morning. And afternoon highs will be only running in the low 20s in most regions. Well, right now it's looking absolutely clear and it's likely to remain like this sunny throughout the day, so be sure to get your sunglasses and jackets ready and don't forget to apply a good amount of sunscreen as well before heading out to make your day a little bit more pleasant. Well, for tomorrow's weather forecast, I can pretty much repeat today's weather outlook. Similar weather pattern is in store, but daytime high should be a couple of degrees higher than today's under lots of sunshine. So great weather is in store to finish the work week. And the outlook for this weekend, on Saturday, a few clouds might be rolling into the nation, and Sunday, it's likely to drizzle here and there across the peninsula, so keep that in mind and plan ahead for your weekend as well. Well, it's going to be sunny, breezy, chilly, and dry today, so let's take a look at readings for today. Morning lows in Seoul is starting out at 11, but it will jump up to 21 degrees Celsius. That's 70 degrees in Fahrenheit. And the afternoon highs in Daegu, Gwangju will be topping out at 24, while Busan hiking up to 25 under lots of sunshine. As we can notice, afternoon highs and morning lows are pretty wide, so make sure to dress warm because we don't want to get sick. Now let's see how other regions are looking. It looks like Daejeon seems to have a quite chilly start to the day at 10, and Jeju, Daejeon, Dokdo will have a mild afternoon in the low 20s under lots of sunshine. Now that's all for Korea, and here's the global forecast for viewers around the world. That's all for me at this hour. Have a wonderful Thursday and join me again for another updates at noon.
And that does it for this Thursday edition of Daybreak. Thank you for being with us.